Welcome to episode 9 of the Viva Vegan podcast. That means we're in July, so welcome. I'd also like to extend a welcome to everybody all over the world, because it's not just the UK that listen to this show. We've got some amazing stats from the USA, Europe and even Thailand, so hello to all of you. I'm KRIS Townsend and I'll be your host on the show as normal, so you're in good hands. We've got interviews with vegan rugby player Anthony Mullally, who plays for Leeds Rhinos. We also catch up with Dave and Lizzie, who have been doing a 750-mile sponsored walk for hope. Since coming to the Viva offices en route, they're actually now deciding to donate the proceeds to Viva, so a big thank you to both of you for that. We also include some street activism from vegan activist Earthling Ed, as well as Erin Janus, who explains why dairy is scary. The vegan recipe club arm of Viva, which is there to help you cook vegan, and cook vegan well and tastily, shows you exactly how KRIS Townsend. There's Erin Janus, who explains why dairy is scary. The vegan recipe club arm of Viva, which is there to help you cook vegan, and cook vegan well and tastily, shows you exactly how to make a really lovely vegan stir fry. We've got music from vegan band Delia, and alongside that we have some really funny comedy sketches. I will say that some of the language is a little bit choice, so we have bleeped it out, but it is clean, so you get the idea nevertheless. My name's KRIS Townsend, you're listening to the Viva podcast, and we're recording at Viva HQ. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Simone Murphy from Britain's Next Top Model. I just want to say a huge thank you to Viva for making the world a better place and helping out all the animals that need it.
The last few years have seen the rise in a number of animal activists taking the stage via YouTube, one of which is Earthling Ed. He's a committed vegan activist, spreading compassion through educational means, and it's become the biggest passion and drive of his life. He's been creating, I believe, has made a difference. We look forward to having him on the show. I'd like to play you some of his street activism, where he asks questions to the public, such as, do you think intelligence defines worth of life? Would you be able to kill an animal? Would you pay someone else to do it? Does it make you feel guilty when you think about an animal being killed? Let's hear what not only he has to say, but let's hear what the public have to say in response.
So do you think intelligence defines worth of life?
No. I don't know what to say. So I don't have arguments for being, like, not vegetarian.
Do you think that when you think about an animal being killed, it makes you feel guilty, or does it not?
I'm not going to lie, no.
No. Would you be able to kill the animal yourself?
No.
Why not?
Because I didn't think I could kill anything.
You don't think you could do it?
No.
Do you think if you can't do it yourself, it's okay to pay someone else to do it on your behalf?
No, it's not okay. It just
It's hard though, isn't it?
It's hard.
But I think when we kind of think about the reasons that we farm animals and kill animals, it becomes quite confusing to us, because most of us are against animal cruelty. Like, would you guys say you're against animal cruelty?
Yeah.
Well, what would you define as animal cruelty?
Like, do you know the videos you see on Facebook where they're trying to get us to be vegetarian? Like them, that is,
Yeah.
that is like cruelty.
So
or like
the
beating
videos-
a dog, maybe. That's cruelty as well.
So would you say like cruelty is like unnecessarily harming animals?
Yeah.
Like that's where like cruelty is when you unnecessarily do something wrong.
Yeah.
But like the way, do you think we need to eat meat to survive?
No, but I feel like there's so much temptation. Like, come on.
Temptation, yeah. There is a lot of temptation. There's a lot of temptation to do a lot of bad things, but do you think that makes it like an acceptable thing to do?
But we've grown up eating meat, so it's like just a norm.
Yeah, you're right. We've been conditioned somewhat, and because we've been raised for so long to do so, it's really hard to kind of like shift that mentality, because we've been brought up to think it was acceptable. But like if say like we were in Saudi Arabia, or so, it's acceptable. But like if say like we were in Saudi Arabia or somewhere like the Middle East, where it's acceptable to kind of treat women like below men, does that make it morally justifiable? No. So you think it's acceptable to treat animals as less than humans then, just because of the culture that we're grown into?
But part of me does think they're less than us.
Do you think you'd be able to kill an animal yourself? No.
I mean,
Only
because
like,
I come from a small village, so I used to watch a lot of people killing animals, I guess. But I never did it, and I always find it very repulsive.
Yeah.
I'll eat it still.
Yeah. Do you think if you couldn't kill the animal yourself, it was acceptable to pay someone else to kill them on your behalf?
Yeah, that's what you do.
That's
what we do, yeah.
Is that acceptable?
Yeah, of course. That's what we do. I don't know if it's acceptable or
It's
not.
not acceptable, but we still do it.
We still do it.
It's socially acceptable, but morally no.
That's a really good point, actually. Like social isn't always the same as moral, is it? It's what we do socially. There was a time where like we used to keep slaves, right? And that was obviously animals as less than as well, which is social, but it's not necessarily moral, right?
Yeah. Then again, we keep evolving, so I guess hopefully in the near future we won't have the need to eat animals anymore.
Yeah.
And we can already make meat in laboratories, so I guess...
Yeah, that's something that's happening, isn't it? Yeah. And so you're saying there's less and less reason for us to use animals now?
There is a way to keep animals, or to have animals in a kind of humane way, but I think that's when it doesn't become sustainable anymore. It's not sustainable. It's only for a very small group of people. You can have some chickens in your backyard, but that's not a way to feed like millions of people.
That's the thing. Like,
and
that's what someone said to me once. Like, the reason that we raise animals in horrible factory farms isn't because we're cruel. It's because we have no choice.
No, because most people, if they see that, they don't agree with it. They say, "Oh, why can't we take the chicken, put it on the grass there, and give it some space?" No, there's no room for it, and that's the only reason for it.
It's like we want to, the expression wins, and they get to live out with their friends in like fields. When it comes to the killing, how do we do that in a humane way?
Well, I don't. Well, I think it's. You can't say it's human. If you make the choice to eat animals, you have to kill them. So I would. So the animal shouldn't suffer. So
quick.
Yes. Quick. So it shouldn't know maybe that it's going to be killed.
They just can't do much, can they? They just kind of sit there.
Maybe
but then my dog
does
like
a voice.
Do animals have voices?
Not like a one you can understand.
Not the one that humans can understand. Yeah. But does your cat have a voice?
No, don't just start killing my cat. No.
Your cat must have a voice though.
It does.
Meow.
It meows.
Yeah,
Purrs.
That's
Sometimes.
asking for something, demanding something.
Yeah.
So like animals, do animals have voices?
Start killing my cat. No.
Your cat must have a voice though.
It does.
Meow.
It meows.
Yeah,
Purrs.
that's asking for something, demanding something.
Yeah.
So like animals, do animals have voices?
Yeah.
If you were to kill an animal, would the animal scream?
But they're not intelligent enough for it to be on our level, so we can't understand what
So do you think
saying.
that intelligence defines worth of life?
No. I don't know what to say.
So
I don't have arguments for being like not vegetarian.
you see, you don't have arguments for, because I'm vegan, right? So like, I still disagree with vegetarianism. But it's really easy. Like, and I just kind of put the victims before myself. So I say like, if I don't want to have these things done to me, like, how is it okay for me to pay to have them done to someone else? And then I just kind of eat delicious foods. Like, because people think that it's just leaves, right? It is. Have you ever tried like proper vegan foods?
It looks horrible when you go out for like a meal and like our friend, she's vegetarian. She looks at the meals and she never likes them.
But where do you go? Like, just to chain restaurant?
Like our friend, she's vegetarian. She looks at the meals and she never likes them.
But where do you go? Like, just to chain restaurants?
Like, normal places.
You know, like Zizzy's
we're not
pizza.
vegetarian.
No, you're not, exactly. But Zizzy's do like pizza, it's got vegan cheese and stuff on top. And like, if you ever go to Zizzy's, just try it. Because you might be surprised by how good it is. Like, you might be.
Really?
Honestly, like, if you've never tried it, you can't knock it. Or, would you say? Or?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Just
because there's so many like mock meats and like mock cheeses now that taste just like the real thing. Sometimes it is. But if we think about like the cheapest foods on the planet, they're like rice, potatoes, pastas, grains, like seasonal veg. Like, they're cheaper than meat and cheese. So like like a whole foods vegan diet is actually cheaper. But you're right. Like, I'm not going to lie that some of the vegan cheeses and some of the vegan meats are more expensive. Yeah. But that's just a supply and demand situation. Like, the more people that buy them, the cheaper they'll become.
Yeah. And I do think that we should, but then like I just can't.
I just can't. I don't know where you guys are from, but like in the UK there's been like a big rise in the number of vegans. Now, is this something that you've noticed where you guys have come from?
Yeah, of course. I think that's the world. It's the project.
Yeah, actually, a lot of people are just starting to become vegan. It
People
makes
are
all
becoming
sense.
aware of, like, you shouldn't eat animals, you know?
Yeah. So what stops you from giving up eating animals?
We don't have money.
Money.
We don't have money because, like, if you need to replace the protein and all the vitamins that you get from animals, you need to like replace them by some really like rich and expensive you know, like.
Do you think what stuff would that be?
Like the kind of things that you buy on like supermarkets, the kind of tofus and that's usually expensive.
It's all proportional, right? So if I say the cheapest foods in the world, rice, potatoes, pastas, grains, like some seasonal veg, they're a lot cheaper than meat or cheeses are, and they are very nutritionally dense as well. Like quinoa is a great source of protein. Like it's as good a source as any other meat product is, and black beans have more protein in them than beef does. So it's like when we start to understand like where we can get the other nutrients from, we can actually start to realize that we don't have to
struggle to get our money, you know? Like we are studying and we still have to like have a proper job and to get money.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would like to become a vegan and I would like to stop killing animals in my name, but at least in these few years I cannot do it, man.
Viva's undercover exposés are changing the face of Britain. Every year, millions of people see the true face of animal farming because of us, and they're changing their diet. Meat and dairy consumption is falling. By joining Viva, your donation will help to keep up this vital work. We need your support. Join Viva today so we can keep on saving animals from suffering. Join online at viva.org.uk/join. viva.org.uk/join.
You're listening to KRIS Townsend presenting Viva Radio at the beginning of every month. Now, if you're a first-time listener, remember there are 8 other episodes for you to listen to, so go back through the links, and if you like what you hear, remember to share month. Now, if you're a first-time listener, remember there are 8 other episodes for you to listen to, so go back through the links, and if you like what you hear, remember to share. That's Viva Radio. Heather Mills has long been a supporter of Viva, and here's a brief clip explaining why.
I support Viva mainly because of Juliet, because I think she's incredible and she's a great leader for animal rights, and specifically because they don't beat around the bush, they get directly to the point, they're not afraid to put the message out or step on anyone's toes that are doing horrific acts against animals. And all their money goes into the cause, you know, they don't waste money, they just really work as a tight team and have a massive effect. You know, they've created some great campaigns that have been very successful, and they're my favourite animal charity. Once people actually are allowed to be educated, because it's not that they don't want to be educated, but there's all this misinformation going out. Once people understand for your favourite foods that are healthy for you, that are not going to create cancers and diabetes and make your children ill, and even more importantly, you know, are going to save the planet, because you think about the deforestation and the amount of grain that has to be grown to feed that cow, to actually fatten it up to just feed a small amount of people. When you actually think it through logically, you know, it's going to save the planet, and this planet is deteriorating rapidly, as people are aware. And, you know, even if you have a no meat Monday, you know, you are making a difference. If the whole world said we won't eat meat on Monday and just slowly learned and educated yourself, it's so easy to be vegan, and it really can make a huge difference to your health, your family's health, the planet, you know, everything, and especially for the animals. It's cruel. We live in an intensively farmed world, and it's cruel.
This next clip is from Erin Janus. Now, I've been a fan of Erin ever since she started. She's a wonderful educational YouTube vlogger, and she creates educational YouTube videos that, as well as being packed full of knowledge, they also have a tone of comical sarcasm with them. Now, in this clip, Erin absolutely nails the cruelty and ludicrousness behind the dairy industry. It's called Why Dairy is Scary.
Okay guys, so since everyone's so busy these days, I'm going to explain to you how the dairy industry works in 5 minutes. Like other female mammals, cows only lactate, or produce milk, when they're pregnant or have a newborn to feed. So the dairy industry inseminates or impregnates cows starting at the age of around 12 months over and over and over again, so they keep making milk. And it's a rather routine process. You see, first the industry jacks off a bunch of bulls, sometimes using a hand or help from an electroejaculator, which is basically a giant cow dildo that goes into the anus of the bull until he blows. And that semen is collected and then inserted into the vagina of a female cow with a long tube, usually while she's confined in what the industry calls. Sometimes they put their fist right into the anus of the female cow, you know, to loosen the area.
To make the process as effective as possible.
What are you feeling for in there? When it's a bit jumpy. I think I would be if someone did that to me.
Just bringing it out. He massages a little bit just to relax everything and help that semen go where it needs to go.
See, he must be responsible for a lot of calves.
Yes.
And when that baby cow is born, it's pretty much immediately taken away from its mother and locked in a crate. Because if it stayed around mom, it would drink her milk. And that's for us. And you see, a mother cow's bond with her young is very strong and affectionate, and she sometimes cries out for days in search of her baby. But nobody gives a But nobody gives a If the baby's a male, his throat is slit and he's sold for veal. And if it's a girl, she's raised to be a milk machine like mom. So dairy cows are continuously, repeatedly kept pregnant their whole lives to keep them lactating. This leads to premature aging, exhaustion, and mastitis, a painful yet common condition in dairy cows, which is inflammation and sometimes infection of the udder. Pus and blood in the milk of dairy cows is also common, so it's usually filtered. But not completely, because in Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada, up to 400,000 somatic cells are legally allowed in every milliliter of cow's milk. And in the United States, 750,000 somatic cells per milliliter. In Brazil, 1 million. And somatic cells, most of which in this case are white blood cells, are the same thing that erupt on the top of a big zit. So you could call it pus. The more bacteria, inflammation, and infection, the higher the somatic cell count. When a dairy cow is finally too physically and emotionally exhausted to continue on, she collapses. These cows are called downers, and they are dragged out by whatever means to be killed and sold for beef. It's common in the industry, even on organic dairy farms, for cows to go down after about 4 or 5 years of continuous milk production. But peak milk production declines around 4 to 5 years anyways, so if the dairy cows are still standing, they're gonna be killed for hamburgers and beef regardless. You see, the dairy industry is the meat industry. Almost every single dairy cow that you will ever buy milk that came from ends up being killed for meat. So if you're vegetarian, you might want to think about this, because at least when you are sexually exploited and emotionally and physically exhausted until you can't take it anymore, and then you're killed for meat. Sounds worse to me. And the natural lifespan of a cow that hasn't been completely exploited? 20 to 25 years, y'all. And as far as the calcium and protein thing goes, study after study after study has shown that those consuming the highest quantities of dairy actually have the highest cases of bone fracture and osteoporosis. And there are dozens of amazing plant-based sources of calcium and protein, so you really don't need to suck the tits of a cow. The dairy industry has wormed their way into education systems, nutritional programs, and media to convince us that we need to drink milk. But when you're in school learning about how good milk is for you, that's not because there was a panel of people who care about your health that determined that. That's because the dairy industry paid lots of money for you and your children to hear that message in school, and on TV, and on billboards, and magazines, and for your doctors who don't have to take more than a few hours of a nutrition course to tell you to drink your milk. You see, rhino milk is for baby rhinos. Dog's milk is for dogs. Cat's milk for baby cats. Rat milk is for baby rats. And cow's milk is for humans? No. It's for baby cows. And vegans are crazy? Dairy is
scary.
Try almond milk, hemp milk, soy milk, flax milk, rice milk, Brazil nut milk, macadamia nut milk, cashew milk, any milk but dairy milk.
You can check out her videos on youtube.com/Erin Janus. That's ERINJANUS. Recorded from Viva HQ, you're listening to the voice of Europe's largest vegan campaigning charity. We are Viva, this is the Viva podcast, and I'm KRIS Townsend.
30-Day Vegan with Viva. Sign up to our 30-Day Vegan programme and we'll eat for 30 days. Our tips include tasty, healthy meal plans, celebrity vegan inspiration, nutritional advice and health information. It's 100% free, so what are you waiting for? Go to viva.org.uk/30-day vegan. That's viva.org.uk/30-day vegan.
Now here, YouTube vlogger Mike the Vegan gives us a funny take on different types of vegans. Enjoy.
Junk food vegan. The animals don't care that this is my 3rd pint of vegan ice cream. And did you know that Oreos are vegan? Angry vegan. Bacon though? Are you serious? I hate humans. Hippie vegan. Weed is a plant, ayahuasca is a plant, peyote is a plant. Since that was all I was eating, that's when I realized I'm already vegan, man. activist vegan. Alright guys, here's the schedule. 12 o'clock, meet at Chipotle for some sofritas, vegan. 30, protest Chipotle for the use of meat. Romantic vegan.
You are so beautiful, even when you have crumbs on your face. Wait, are those cheese cracker crumbs? I am no longer attracted to you.
Vegan bodybuilder.
Get those gains, bro. I just did a 20,000 calorie vegan challenge. Gained 10 pounds in 10 hours. I got plant proteins coming out my ears, man.
Passive-aggressive vegan. Oh, you're vegetarian. Yeah, only contributing to male calves becoming veal through the dairy industry that's way more commendable than eating meat. New vegan. Gluten-free is the same thing as vegan, right? Is coffee vegan? Is whey vegan? Old vegan. I'm 65 years old. Yeah, I just turned 65. I'm not graying yet, which is kind of weird. High-carb vegan. No, that banana's not ripe yet. This is a ripe banana. Vegan athlete. Strava, mate. If it's not on Strava, Strava, mate. If it's not on Strava, it didn't happen. I tracked how many steps I took down the aisle at my wedding on Strava. Otherwise, how do I know I got hitched? Health food vegan. You know, I'm not really like a huge fan of the term vegan. I prefer plant-based. It's not really so much about the animals for me. It's more just about being bikini ready, you know. Pushover vegan. No, where'd you get that idea? I love barbecues. All the meat grilling everywhere. No, it's totally great. It's a great time. It's really fun. No, I've been to a lot of barbecues. Russian vegan.
And here, Viva's very own Vegan Recipe Club shows you exactly how to make a wonderful, really delicious vegan stir-fry.
Cook kind with the Vegan Recipe Club. Scrummy starters, Moorish mains, delish desserts and much more. For the best in recipes, cookery know-how and health tips, go to www.uk or catch us on Twitter or Facebook. Go to www.veganrecepiclub.org.uk.
You need approximately twice as much water as you do rice. The rice is boiling now, so I'm just going to give it a little stir. Remove the spoon, put the lid on, and then turn the gas down to its lowest setting. The important thing with rice is to have a pan with a very well-fitting lid. The reason is the pan needs to be airtight so that the water that you put in there turns into steam and the steam can't escape. So essentially you're steaming the rice. So it's very important at this stage to put the lid on, leave it there for 15 minutes to let the steam cook the rice.
What you're trying to say, Ash, is that the rice is steamed.
While the rice is cooking, I'm just going to dry fry some sesame seeds in a small frying pan here. So that's going to add a bit of here. So that's going to add a bit of flavour and a bit of garnish to the rice at the end. So I'm going to cut the rest of the vegetables in the meantime. I've done a lot of the chopping already, but I'm just going to do the rest of this pepper here. This is a Ramiro pepper, just slightly sweeter and slightly nicer, I think. So again, I'm just holding my fingers away from the sharp blade, curling my fingers up.
Very professional, Ash.
Putting them into these little takeaway containers, which are extremely useful, because when I get frying, it's going to be a very quick process. This is a pak choy, it's a classic Chinese vegetable. And I'm just going to quickly chop them by piling them together. Just doing one long cut along the length of the pak choy, and then I can just cut finely, similar thickness to the pepper. I think it's a good idea to cut vegetables quite finely when you're doing it, with a rice stir fry, because rice itself is obviously very small.
But what if you like big rice?
So that is all of the vegetables ready to stir fry in a minute. So I'm going to prepare the pan now. I'm just going to use some of this sesame oil. If you haven't got sesame oil, regular vegetable oil would do fine, but this adds a little bit of extra flavour to it. Onions first. Onions and garlic. So the double spatulas are really useful here to help the vegetables move around as much as you can.
Obviously a recipe for the ambidextrous. One-armed people needn't apply.
I've got some oyster mushrooms here that I've pre-chopped. I'll chuck them in in the mixer. And the pak choi. Lovely greens and reds go well together. There's a little bit of fresh ginger as well. So just let that cook from it. You should really be keeping this constantly moving. It should really be quite a quick affair. That's probably long enough now. So I'm just going to go to the rice, scrape up all the rice. So there's my rice. I'm just going to loosen it up a bit there.
Gosh, was that steamed rice, Ash?
And then it's just a case of adding the rice to the rest of the stir fry. Keep moving that around a bit. Now I can add a bit of soy sauce. And the final thing is just a little bit. Keep moving that around a bit. Now I can add a bit of soy sauce. And the final thing is just a little bit of fresh coriander that I'm just going to quickly chop. Using the knife and rocking action. Take that, pop that in on the top like that. Keep that moving around. And finally add the sesame seeds, leaving a little bit to one side just to sprinkle on top at the end. And that's pretty much done, so I'm going to take the heat off. That's ready to serve.
For more information, go to veganrecipeclub.org.uk or catch them on Facebook and Twitter. Recently, We Animals have released a new short film called This Awful Orcs and Eventually Years. Now, the footage is from filmmaker and We Animals team member Kelly, who was granted rare full access to film in the chicken slaughterhouse. To be fair, it's pretty awful, but it reveals the stark mechanised workings of the slaughterhouse and offers an unflinching, intimate look at the birds caught in this awful system.
I was an undercover investigator. I worked in farms and slaughterhouses wired with a hidden camera to show the public what happens to animals. I've been to more than 50 farms rounding up chickens to truck them to slaughter, and I worked on the kill floor in a large chicken processing plant. I wish people could see what I've seen. Chicken catching is hard, dirty work. When you grab the birds, they're sleeping, defenseless. They don't know what's happening. Chicken catching is hard, dirty work. When you grab the birds, they're sleeping, defenseless. They don't know what's happening. They squawk and flap, then eventually, they give up. We carried 9 birds in each hand. Sometimes their leg bones snapped in our palms. The birds are thrown into crates. Necks, wings, or feet are in the way, but workers shove the crate doors until they close anyway. At the slaughterhouse, you see broken legs, broken wings, broken bones sticking out of skin, missing toes, animals dead or dying from weather exposure. It's loud and it stinks. When I first started hanging live chickens for slaughter, I apologized in my head to each chicken. But you lose the ability to feel in a place like this. After a few weeks, I went numb. You stop seeing suffering. You stop seeing individuals. An animal dying alone on the floor becomes just a mess to be cleaned up. Otherwise good people, people with families and senses of humor, are doing terrible things to animals because that's how the system is set up. The workers hate the job too. You see so many dead bodies that your brain can't process them as individuals. Instead, they become objects. People only see them as cut up pieces, never the breathing bird it was just hours before. what we do and how we live in a society where this happens and people go along with it. I imagine students in the future learning about it in history class and being horrified. What we do to animals is an atrocity. A real-life horror film. But it's so deeply ingrained in our culture that we can't see it for what it is. We can stop this, but not until collectively we have the courage to see it and to let ourselves feel it. Will you see it through my eyes?
So, well done, We Animals. And if you're interested in supporting them, they're on Patreon/We Animals.
At Viva, we rely heavily on the gifts that people leave to us in their wills. Without this generosity from our supporters, we would not be able to. Please consider giving to Viva in your will. To find out more, please visit viva.org.uk/legacies or contact Tony Wardle by email on tony@viva.org.uk or call 0117 944 1000.
This is Chris Townsend and you're listening to Viva Radio, coming out on the 1st of every month. Now, if you're a first-time listener, remember there's many other episodes before this one, so go back through the list and enjoy to your heart's content. And if you like what you hear, please remember to share. This next clip is an interview that Juliet Gellatley, the founder of Viva, did with BBC 5 Live, debating veganism and comments that vegan politician Kerry McCarthy made. The debate's with a butcher called Lee Frost. Now, fair play, Juliet. You held your own and you didn't get too wound up throughout this interview.
Is eating a steak like smoking a cigarette? Labour's new shadow environment.
Live, debating veganism and comments that vegan politician Kerry McCarthy made. The debate's with a butcher called Lee Frost. Now, fair play, Juliet. You held your own and you didn't get too wound up throughout this interview.
Is eating a steak like smoking a cigarette? Labour's new shadow environment secretary suggested there should be a public information campaign to stop people eating meat on health grounds. Well, Kerry McCarthy, who's a vegan, made the comments in the magazine Viva Life. And Juliet Gellatley is a founder of Viva, UK-based vegetarian vegan campaign charity, who published the magazine, and hopefully we'll be speaking to Juliet in a minute once we get her on the line. We do have Lee Frost, though, a butcher from Chorlton in Greater Manchester. Good morning, Lee.
Good morning, Nicky.
It's all things in moderation, obviously, as long as it, doesn't affect business too much.
Exactly.
Yeah, but there must be. Well, first of all, what do you make of Kerry's comments here?
I think Kerry's comment, I have respect for that.
Okay.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
You must have. I'm sure you have respect for vegetarians and vegans.
I'm vegans, of course I do.
Who've made that. But you must have, as many people do, many meat eaters must have concerns about factory farming and intensive farming.
Well, in this country, we have the best welfare standards and the best meat production in the world. That goes without saying. Of course, I have respect for vegetarians and vegans, and as a lifestyle choice. What I don't have respect for is these militant views of certain vegans trying to ram these views down our throats. It's quite ridiculous.
How are they doing that?
Well, by these comments, by the shadow agricultural secretary.
Yeah. Juliet Gellatley, what do you make of it?
It's ramming views down people's throats. I mean, meat eating has had its own way for very, very, very many years. All people like Kerry McCarthy are doing is highlighting the truth. That's not ramming. All people like Kerry McCarthy are doing is highlighting the truth. That's not ramming stuff down people's throats.
Well, the truth is we've got the best meat and welfare standards in the world.
No, that's not true. I went in a red tractor approved place a week ago, and it's pigs in little cages, like battery cages, all stacked on one on top of another. The mothers in crates where they could barely move. It was absolutely disgusting, and this is British assured meat. It's a total con. Factory farming is factory farming, thousands of animals in massive sheds, and it's still the way, unfortunately, the way that Britain produces most of its meat, and these are the massive suppliers. And in terms of health, you're looking at 70 to 80% of chronic diseases are caused by what we do to ourselves, not by our genes. And so I'm talking about diet, which is mainly saturated animal fats, which come from meat and dairy.
Meat fat's good for you. Fat means flavour.
Saturated animal fats may give you flavour, but they also give you heart attacks. They also give
everything
you
in
cancer.
moderation.
What you heard about the pigs there, Lead, is that trouble?
They also give you heart attacks. They also give you
everything
cancer.
in moderation.
What you heard about the pigs there, Lead, is that does that trouble you in any sense?
It does. It's not the sort of stuff that I would support. I don't buy. I deal with local farmers, and that is something that I wouldn't entertain. And I quite agree with your other guest there. You know, that should not be happening.
But meat is good for us, Lee. Yeah?
Meat is good for us.
Meat is not good for us. We know it's not. We're not talking about hundreds of scientific studies now. We're talking about it's gone into the thousands. 90% of diabetes type 2. There's over 3 million.
In moderation.
No. There's over 3 million people in the UK who've got diabetes now. Most of that's due to diet, and most of it's due to fat. It's tiny little fat globules in people's cells that stop insulin from working. Heart disease is largely due to what we do to ourselves. You say everything in moderation. So many people say they're doing it in moderation, but they're killing themselves far too early and putting the National Health Service into major crisis.
Well, it's not what I get in my shop. I see more and more people coming into my shop and buying good quality local.
Is all over the world, and we know that cancers, heart disease, gallstone, strokes, are largely preventable diseases.
If everyone in the world,
largely due to diet.
Juliet, if you were to wave a magic wand, Viva vegetarian wand, and stop everybody in the world eating meat, would the planet improve, or what? What would be the environmental consequences?
Well, you wouldn't see any animals for a start.
No, it's
Paul
the opposite.
McCartney can only afford to look after a few.
That's just so ignorant.
It's not ignorant, it's the truth.
If I could just speak, it is ignorant, because consuming meat and dairy is the number one cause of loss of wildlife species worldwide. And that's because the demand for meat has got to such a state that most of the world's agricultural land now is to grow feed to those animals. In other words, crops like soya and other grains to feed to those animals. So the number one cause of loss of the rainforest, for example, even today, after all we know, is still feeding pigs and poultry. So they're being chopped down to make way to feed meat eaters.
Okay. Do you know what?
So there'd be a lot more land available for the
You're like cutting me throat here, blimey.
Don't do that.
Oh, dear.
I tell you what, I see myself as a peacemaker. I see myself as a mediator, as a bringing together, someone who brings people together. That's the phrase I'm looking for. But I don't think we're going to find agreement here.
I don't think.
Do you know what? I get that impression.
And that was a clip from an interview with Juliet on BBC 5 Live.
Hi, I'm Hannah, and I'm launching a new competition with Viva called Viva Veganista to help bring the fun into vegan cooking. To enter, upload your vegan dishes on social media and hashtag Viva Veganista. Don't forget to hashtag Viva Veganista.
On June the 1st, Dave and Lizzie set off on an epic 750-mile walk across the UK to raise awareness for animal suffering and the global crisis of animal agriculture. They said, crisis of animal agriculture. They popped into the Viva office on the way, and here's what they said.
Yeah, doing really well.
Yeah.
Feeling amazing.
Yeah.
Feeling really, really good.
So you've come to see us on your journey. How many days in are you?
We're day 14 now.
Yeah.
Day 14. You must be cream crackered.
Yeah. But we are cream crackered. Now the heat has increased and the weather's better, it's worse. I'm not sure how many steps we're doing. I did want to get a step operator because I'm intrigued, but the battery ran out on my phone.
Technology let
me down. So we'll have to try and get one here.
Yeah, well look, thanks ever so much for coming in anyway. It's really nice to meet you. Along the way, you've been attending Save Vigils as well. And for those of you that don't know, Save Vigils are where people bear witness to animals being taken to slaughter. You've got a web page, you've got a website where you're putting regular updates each day, is that right?
Yeah, every day we've got our blogs on there.
You've got a website where you're putting regular updates each day, is that right?
Yeah, every day we've got our blogs on there, our route, where we've been, pictures, so it's all
lovely.
on there.
Very interactive. So tell me, how did you come up with the idea for such an epic journey?
Well, we're doing lots of different things in the area. We're doing outreach, we're going to save movements, we did Cube of Truth and just went out on our own into town and just started speaking to people.
Gotcha.
And we realised that the vegan society as a whole is fighting amongst itself, as well as, there's a lot of...
The vegan movement. The vegan society.
Yeah, the vegan movement is fighting amongst itself as well as the outside. And there's not enough people going to these saves and raising the awareness. And once I found out that, what the damage it does to the planet, the damage it does to us, and obviously the brutality behind it, just got to spread the word. So everyone needs to get out there and just spread the word and do more. So we thought this would raise the most awareness. You've got to remember that being vegan should stand for compassion, and that's compassion to everything and everybody, and that includes people that are on the journey a little way, on the journey halfway, vegetarian, or not on the journey at all.
Oh, definitely, especially as a fact, I mean, we all probably ate meat at some point in time in our lives as well. We should all understand, because we've been there previously. Yeah. So where are you guys based? Are you based in Cornwall? Because that's where your walk started.
No, it started in Cornwall because I looked at the map and the walk and how long it would take and thought, I want to be up north when it's a bit warmer.
Does that ever happen?
Well, I don't know, because So I live in Dover, and
I'm from Kent.
Oh, you're from Kent, yeah. Kent and Dover. So how did you guys meet?
Through my partner, actually. We met. James is Dave's next door neighbour, so we just kind of met through there, really, didn't we?
Yeah, 5 months ago.
5 months ago, yeah.
Brilliant. And in this society, most people don't know their neighbours, but you guys,
Yeah.
A very long walk. So, what did you hope to achieve with this walk?
Right, we want to raise awareness in the vegan community that you can do positive outreach, you can do positive activism, and actually you have a duty to do that, if you like, because you know the truth, and until you knew that truth, someone had to tell you. So you then have to pass that on. It's like doing a bit of kindness, if you like. We want to raise awareness to the wider public to say this is what's happening and these are the lies you're being told, and what it's doing to the planet and everything else. You know, just raising awareness and educating people and trying to spread the word and trying to, get certain questions answered.
Yeah, good stuff. Good. So tell us a little bit more about the Save movement.
Okay, well, Save movements, initially they're vigils outside slaughterhouses. That's the main thing they do, and it's to raise awareness. Initially they're the vigils outside slaughterhouses. That's the main thing they do, and it's to raise awareness, as well as saying goodbye and sorry for our species, to the animals that we see. It's about raising awareness to the wider public that actually these places are there on your doorstep sometimes. You're not even aware of it. Some of them are, some of them aren't. And those, the majority that are quite horrified, actually, that it's right there. And so we want to sort of raise that awareness and just bring everything into the forefront, into the wider public view, I suppose.
Yeah. You want people to meet their meat.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So how long do you think it's going to take you to complete this journey? Because I'm looking at a map here.
We're looking at about 3 months. We're going to finish in London on the 2nd of September at the official Animal Rights March, which is 3 months. We're going to finish in London on the 2nd of September at the official Animal Rights March, which is going to be an amazing finish.
An amazing finish.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Brilliant. So how can vegans, how can our Viva listeners help you achieve your objectives?
The simple word really is they can help by doing something. They can spread the word, they can donate, they can buy a t-shirt, they can buy an armband, they can help with activism. They can go out and help spread the word themselves and go out to the Save movements that need more people. The more people you get there, at these movements and Cuba Truth, and there's lots of different things. Get in touch with Viva, get in touch with all the other programs that are going on and just take part. That's what we need to do. A movement isn't really a movement unless they're moving, are they?
Yeah.
We might as well be called a half movement and a half standing still. We need to get moving and get on Facebook. We plan our journey quite well because we need obviously rest days in between, etc. We've already had the lady from Torquay walk with us. Pat, was it Pat?
Pat, you remembered Pat.
I remember Pat. I'm not very good with names normally. So Pat walked with us for about 1.5 miles, 2 miles.
Sure, that's enough.
She was one of the ones that, bless her, gave us accommodation and food and whatever. And so she said, right, I'm going to walk with you. I've got an appointment, but I'm going to walk with you this far. And it was great, you know. And nice. if we had, the more people, the merrier.
Yeah.
Just come along.
So you've got a few more months yet to walk, both of you. People can get in contact with you. What are your details on social media?
Our website address is www.walkforhope.uk.
Brilliant. What about Instagram? You've got to be on Instagram, haven't you?
Yeah, we've got Instagram, we've got a Twitter account, which is both Walk for Hope UK, and we've got a Facebook, which is Walk for Hope UK.
Thank you so much for coming into the Viva HQ today. Really nice to be able to interview you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you.
And that was when Viva met Dave and Lizzie on their epic walk to raise awareness for animal suffering. Good work, both of you. And now it's time for some music. I'd like to introduce you to Delia. Hailing from Liverpool, Delia is fronted by a singer, Michelle Harris. Having had previous releases on Fortitude magazine, Gig Sluts, a couple of others, they've also been featured on The Only Way is Essex and the Hollyoaks as well. But this track, Waiting for the Rain, is came out this May. And it's available on all the usual platforms, Spotify, iTunes, etc. But the track itself boasts real soulful vocals, powerful drums, unique synths, and it's got a cracking bass line that comes in as well. And it's just a climate-conscious tale of how far things have gone in the wrong direction and how small movements can make such a big difference. Obviously, we're promoting Delia because they're a vegan. Band, and I wish them all the best in 2017. They're a very exciting new act, and I will be keeping an eye out. Enjoy this tune. It's called Waiting for the Rain.
Place on a path, on a course, chasing what we know, faking what we don't. Race on a line, on a course, burning what we grow and stealing what we don't. Holding on to thin ice, waiting for the rain to save you. Hold tight, whoa, holding on to thin ice, waiting for the rain to save you. Waiting for the rain to save you. Hold tight, whoa, holding on to thin ice, waiting for the rain to save you. Hold tight, paving away on a course, searching through the mess, learning from the best, wasting away with a cause, making sense of less than nothing at its best. Holding on to thin ice, waiting for the rain to save you. Hold tight, whoa, holding on to thin ice, waiting for the rain to save you. Hold tight, take what you will, get what you give, take what you need to take, get what you give before there's nothing left to say. Hold, thin ice, waiting for the rain to save you. Hold tight, get what you can, take what you need to take, get what you can, get what you can, take what you need to take, get what you give before there's nothing left to say.
What is it again?
Here is a short comedy skit taking off the film The Sixth Sense, where the child says, "I see dead people." Very well done. Film The Sixth Sense, where the child says, "I see dead people." Very well done.
I think I'd like to tell you my secret now. I see dead animals.
In your dreams, while you're awake, in graves, in coffins.
I see them in restaurants, on plates. I see them in the grocery store. I see them in photos on Instagram. People, they don't know they're dead. They've been groomed by the corporations and the media to see them as food, but they're dead animals.
How often do you see them?
All the time.
Many of you are aware that we've launched Viva Veganista. Now, at Viva, we've seen a massive increase in the number of people finding out more about going vegan. They often want to share ideas and thoughts as well as seek guidance on finding out more about going vegan. They often want to share ideas and thoughts as well as seek guidance on how to rustle up meals, healthy meals, junk food meals, all sorts of bits and bobs with minimum fuss. Now, there's also been a notable shift in people of all ages wanting to end animal cruelty as well, linking up good health, fitness and their connection to food and nutrition. And as a result, lots more people are investigating vegan cooking than ever before. So to celebrate this, we created Viva Veganista, where we wanted to create a simple way to get involved with people who might not be wholly vegan, or might be even, but are on their way maybe to realising the health and ethical benefits that this diet brings. And so Viva Veganista was born. Now, Hannah is our first Viva Veganista, and we've got her to review a number of products that are on our YouTube channel, Viva UK. She's just sent us a review on soy milks, which I thought might be really interesting for people. And here she compares the 59p Aldi soy milk with the All Pro.
Into the garden.
Might be really interesting for people. And here she compares the 59p Aldi soy milk with the All Pro milk.
Hi guys, so today we've come into the garden for our vlog and it looked like it was really sunny outside and I got out here and it's very cold, so hence the coat and the gilet. So today we're going to be looking at Outpro versus the budget soy milk. So these ones are £1.70 each, whereas the ones from Aldi that we've got here, hosted by my lovely grandma, are 59p each. I've made a coffee with each of them and we're going to see which one Grandma prefers. So first up we have got this one, if you'd like to drink it.
That one tastes very creamy.
You think that one tastes creamy?
Different from ordinary milk.
Well, by ordinary milk you mean cow's milk.
Different from ordinary milk.
Well, by ordinary milk you mean cow's milk. Okay, and then second we've got this one. This one has curdled, which is weird because usually I make coffee all the time and I use these milks all the time, and as long as you put in the soy milk before the hot water and the coffee, usually for me it doesn't curdle. So what do you think of that one?
It tastes fine, but less creamy, more to my palate.
You prefer that one even though it's curdled?
Yeah.
Okay, right, third, got that one. That one hasn't curdled. What do you think?
I like that one.
You like that one? Why?
It's more like my semi-skimmed milk.
Okay, and then finally this one. What do you think?
There's a slightly different taste to it. I prefer number 3.
So your favourite one was number 3. Home. I mean, they're only 59p. Like, if you're a student or even if you're trying it for the first time, you don't want to spend like a shed load of money on the expensive ones. I would still go for these. You didn't... The taste wasn't unpleasant, though, or anything?
Different.
It was just different to cow's milk, because Grandma does drink cow's milk. And then the second two were the Outpro ones. So, like I said, these ones are £1.70 in the shops. Your favourite one was the original. This is number 3, and this is number 4. So you think these one tastes most similar to the milk that you're used to?
Yeah.
Okay. So there you have it. That's my grandma's opinion. I do really like Outpro. I think it's great for if you're beginning and you don't want a massive difference in the taste, because these ones are good. But then as you warm up to it, the Aldi ones are amazing. As I say, they're 59p from Aldi. You can also get soy milk for 59p from Lidl. They've just introduced their one. You also get soy milk for 59p from Lidl. They've just introduced their one. Waitrose has their essential one for 90p. Yeah, you don't have to spend £1.70, but I think you do get what you pay for in the taste. Alright, thanks guys.
And that was Hannah's Viva Veganista review of soy milk, Aldi versus All Pro. You can be a Viva Veganista. Now, you can take part in our fantastic weekly vegan cookery competition. All you have to do is hashtag any of your vegan cookery pictures with hashtag Viva Veganista, and you'll automatically get entered into our competition. There are lots of different prizes, and it's running till September, so good luck.
Viva's Undercover exposés are changing the face of Britain. Every year, millions of people see the true face of animal farming because of us, and they're changing their diet. Meat and dairy consumption is falling. By joining Viva, your donation will help to keep up this vital work. We need your support. Join Viva today. We need your support. Join Viva today so we can keep on saving animals from suffering. Join online at viva.org.uk/join. viva.org.uk/join.
At the recent Viva Vegan Festival in Leeds, Viva caught up with a recent vegan convert and rugby player for Leeds Rhinos, Anthony Mullally. He's built like a wall. This guy is a great example of how veganism is a great choice for people looking to improve their performance. It certainly does not hold you back, and in many ways can go to improve your performance. Now, the interviewer, Viva director Tony Wardle, was impressed at how much research Anthony had done about veganism and animal rights. Here it is.
You're in probably one of the most macho sports in the world, and it's not normally associated with veganism. How on earth did you first get interested?
No, it's not. There's quite the alpha male stigma behind it, and pack mentality. But no, my sister and her boyfriend are vegans. My sister's vegetarian, boyfriend are vegan, and I'm from Widnes near Liverpool, and obviously I play for Leeds, so I live in Leeds. And when I go home to Widnes, when I used to go home a few years back, they used to tell me what video it was, which I should go vegan, vegetarian. I was like, no. Like what people say to me now. And but once I started watching some stuff, especially from Gary Kozlowski, the activist, and I actually emailed him, he got back to me. I started to think of this, and it was mainly at first the reason I'm vegetarian was the biological and our anatomy compared to the actual carnivores, and obviously we perceive as well. I think people say we're omnivores, but like a lot of people think we can just eat as much meat as we want. And but when you actually look into our intestinal tract, there are all sorts of gases meat releases when in our intestines. Obviously, hands.
Interest. What was it?
Well, I've always cared about the animals, but I think most people do. People love animals, but they still eat meat. So, but I'm not judging anyone. I was the same. So it's just, I think I'm not quite sure, but I think you kind of don't want to know what's going on. It's like you kind of turn a blind eye, and that's what I was doing. But I think I was wanting to change, and that kind of gave me the last push.
Was it sudden? Did you just go vegan, or was it a gradual thing?
It was very gradual. I stopped eating red meat, and then I went pescatarian, and then I went vegetarian, and it wasn't too long after that I went vegan. Especially I went doing a lot of research into like the dairy and egg industry, and it's pretty much just as bad as the meat industry. So I'm not judging vegetarians. It's just my personal choice. I didn't feel like I could do it. No, after knowing what I knew. It's just my personal choice. I didn't feel like I could do it. No, after knowing what I knew.
Did the environment play any role?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Obviously, I think it's like 52% of adds to greenhouse gases from animal agriculture. That's from obviously feeding or mass-producing cattle. Water it takes to make the meat, obviously the land it takes to grow food to feed him. It's just like the whole thing's just unnatural.
Well, you're obviously not an accidental vegan. You've done your research. You'd gone vegetarian first, and that was the point at which you had to tell your teammates. How was that?
We always go for food before a game, like the day before a game, and it wasn't when I was vegetarian. It was when I stopped eating chicken. So it was a good while ago. And also when I stopped eating red meat. When I stopped eating chicken, and I'd get like a while ago. And also when I stopped eating red meat. When I stopped eating chicken, and I'd get like a salad. And I was taking the meat out of it. Obviously, this was early doors, so it wouldn't be that long. I was taking the meat out of it, and the lads wondering what I was doing and stuff. But I was like, yeah, I don't eat meat. But I just didn't want to make a fuss. It wasn't really lads. It was like, so I don't have to tell the coaching staff and to tell the chefs, and I just didn't want to like look like a bit of a drama queen. So like that. But then they told them, and then they were great ones to know. Like everywhere we go now, they make sure they've got like an option for me, and it's fine now. Like I said, I'm still living with constant like banter and like ridicule. Not really ridicule, but like constant like it's a constant battle like defending like my beliefs and stuff. But it's just something.
Is it aggressive banter or
no? It's completely harmless and playful. So I always enjoy it. But like I say, when I get some of the lads like one-on-one, like some of like I was saying before, is like Jimmy Kainos, he's near enough pescatarian. When I get some of the lads like one-on-one, like some of like I was saying before, is like Jimmy Kainos, he's near enough pescatarian now, and he won't really cook meat anymore. But if we go out for food, he'll eat meat. But I think he'll be the next to go. So.
And where did he get that from?
I like to think he got it from me. I ingrained it into him.
Do you think there's a bit of admiration on the part of your teammates that, oh yeah, blimey, he's done that?
I think maybe they won't tell me. They won't tell me to my face, but they might. Well, I think it's because they always say, I don't know how you can give it, I don't know how you can not eat that and stuff. But to me now, it's just second nature. Yeah. It's just I don't really feel like I'm giving anything up. It's just the way I live now. It's just my lifestyle.
Yeah, men are not really inclined to give each other compliments, are they?
No, it's like hidden behind that like curtain of masculinity, I think.
Have you ever had any doubts about how it might affect your physical strength? Because, boy, you need to be strong in your game.
There's a lot of holes can be put into it. Obviously, look at gorillas. I think we share 96% of the same DNA, and they're predominantly vegetarian. The odd termite, but they just graze all day eating vegetation and bananas. So I used to use that. I used to the lads say like gorillas don't eat meat. But no. So that was a reason for not doing it quick. But more looked into it, and I don't have whey protein. I have pea protein, which is high in the leucine, which I think that's the thing with the protein's fine. Protein's not an issue, but there's some essential amino acids. I think like leucine is I pronounce it wrong, but it's like the platform of where protein can be built on, and I don't think you can get that in certain fruits and veg, so you need to supplement that into your diet.
You're certainly not an accidental vegan. You've done your work on it, haven't you?
Yeah, anything to replace it.
Do you have a girlfriend or partner?
Yeah, I have a girlfriend now. She's gone vegetarian. Yeah, she wasn't before she met me. She was a normal meat eater, and she won't really eat all the food when we go out, and like I always finish food. Well, obviously not if it's meat, but I always used to finish her food. So like she got a vegan dish for me, so like I could finish it after her food. But now she's gone vegetarian now. Hopefully to go vegan soon.
What do you feel about yourself having made this step? I'm just wondering, do you sometimes think, yeah, I've done that, I feel quite proud?
Kind of. I don't really do it for any sort of like self-qualification. I just do it to like, just make a difference. You know what I mean? I think like as long as you can do your bit and like try else, obviously by not eating meat by being vegan.
I feel quite proud.
Kind of. I don't really do it for any sort of like self-qualification. I just do it to like, just make a difference. You know what I mean? I think like as long as you can do your bit and like try else, obviously by not eating meat, by being vegans, we're helping the animals, we're helping the environment, and just other little things. So I think it's just trying to do a little bit if we can.
And the future? Any thoughts on how you might go in the future? Stick with it?
Oh yeah, I'll never eat meat again. It doesn't interest me. I don't miss it. I like to keep going. I'd like to help out and stuff. Like activists, I like to do what I can to help promote the word.
Do you notice any difference in public attitude and stuff like that?
I think it's becoming more like it looks a bit more acceptable. I think there's still a stigma around it, but it's just because people know it's good for you. Yeah, there's calcium in it. There's calcium in lots of other things, and like drinking milk is actually worse for you because the calcium in our bones that we have is it's a neutralizer. So when we drink the milk, we have to use that neutraliser to get the damage that's in the cow's milk to get out of our system. So
you have done your research, my goodness.
Try.
Yeah.
It's a prerequisite.
And that was Tony Wardle interviewing rugby player for Leeds Rhinos Anthony Mullally, a recent vegan convert. Now, if you're a first-time listener, remember there are 8 other episodes for you to listen to, so go back through the links, and if you like what you hear, remember to share. That's Viva Radio. Now, this clip has gone viral on YouTube. It shows a very wholesome-looking granny talking about cooking a vegan recipe and the meat equivalent. Because she looks so wholesome on YouTube, you certainly don't expect her to have such a potty mouth. But she ends up owning the stage. Enjoy.
Wings. Now, last time, I let a few F-bombs slip. But don't worry. This time, there will just be good, wholesome...
What the Grandma?
Oh, hello, sweetheart.
Aren't you going to tell them that chickens killed for wings live lives before being killed and hacked apart? But that millions of them are murdered every year. That's just for one game, seriously.
Hand me the hot sauce, dear. I make my own hot sauce because I have no time for weak-ass bullshit. Dip your cauliflower into your simplest batter, made from flour, soy milk, salt, and garlic. Then smother it with that motherfucking hot sauce and pop that into the oven.
But Grandma, what about...
the chickens? Why, those poor little birds live shitty lives before being hauled off in hellish trucks to clusterfucks known as slaughterhouses. Wings are served by faced hats who have no sense of decency. And their legs and wings are served at dumb football parties who wouldn't know good flavor if it bit them in the
Don't be stink, go vegan.
You heard the little
Grandma, what's a
And that was the foul-mouthed vegan granny. Like I promised, we have bleeped out the swearing. I hope you enjoyed the show. We really enjoyed making this one. I enjoyed bringing a light-hearted element to the show, and that will continue in the following months. You can listen to the show on iTunes, Android, Stitcher and viva.org.uk/Viva Radio. Remember, if you like what you hear, subscribe to the show. That's it, just click the subscribe button. That's it for episode 9. I'm KRIS Townsend and you've been listening to the Viva podcast. I look forward to seeing you next month for episode 10. In the meantime, be kind and be